Stephen Wesley Pless is born Stephen Pollard on 6 September 1939 in Newnan, Georgia. After his parents' divorce, his mother Nancy Lassetter Pollard moves to Atlanta and remarries to Berlin Pless. Stephen is adopted by his stepfather and takes the Pless surname. He attends Decatur High School before transferring to Georgia Military Academy in College Park, graduating from the school in 1957. While a senior at Georgia Military Academy, Pless enlists in the United States Marine Corps Reserve on 6 September 1956 and serves with the 1st Motor Transport Battalion in Atlanta. After graduation, he attends recruit training and advanced combat training at Parris Island, South Carolina, finishing in October 1957. He then serves as an artillery surveyor with the 10th Marine Regiment, 2nd Marine Division until September 1958. While attending flight training at Pensacola, Florida, Pless is commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant on 16 September 1959. He is promoted to 1st lieutenant on 16 March 1960 and designated a naval aviator upon graduation from the flight training on 20 April 1960. Following several posts stateside and in the Republic of Vietnam, Pless is promoted to captain on 1 July 1964. From 20 March to 22 September 1967, he serves in Vietnam as Assistant Operations Officer, VMO-6, Marine Aircraft Group 36, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing. Over the course of this time in Vietnam, Pless flies a total of 780 combat missions and is the only Marine aviator awarded the Medal of Honor in the Vietnam War. After his return from Vietnam, he is promoted to Major on 7 November 1967. On 16 January 1969, 4 days before leaving office, President Lyndon Johnson presents Pless the Medal of Honor at a White House ceremony. After receiving the Medal of Honor that day is also Newnan, Georgia native U.S. Air Force pilot Lieutenant Colonel Joe Jackson. Legend states that upon realizing that both Pless and Jackson were from the same small town in Georgia, President Johnson quipped, "There must be something in the water down in Newnan." The Department of Defense, recognizing the extreme circumstances of the helicopter rescue, awards all 3 of Pless's crewmates decorations. Captain Rupert E. Fairfield, Gunnery Sergeant Leroy N. Poulsen, and Lance Corporal John G. Phelps are each awarded the Navy Cross, the 2nd highest naval award for valor. The combined crew of 4 represent the most highly decorated helicopter crew to fly in the Vietnam War. Major Stephen Pless dies in a motorcycle accident on 20 July 1969, just over 6 months after receiving the nation's highest award for gallantry in action. While driving across a drawbridge which connected the city of Pensacola to Pensacola Beach, his motorcycle plunges off the end of the open bridge into the water. The center span of the bridge opened horizontally, and Pless does not realize it was open until it was too late. His body is recovered by divers 7 hours later. A complete list of medals of his and decorations include the Medal of Honor, the Silver Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, 38 Air Medals, the Navy Commendation Medal with Valor Device, the National Defense Service Medal, the Marine Corps Expeditionary Medal, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Korean Order of Military Merit, the Vietnam Service Medal, and the Vietnam Campaign Medal. His citation reads, "The President of the United States of America, in the name of Congress, takes pleasure in presenting the Medal of Honor to Major Stephen Wesley Pless, Marine Corps Service Number 0-79156, United States Marine Corps, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty on 19 August 1967, while serving as a helicopter gunship pilot attached to Marine Observation Squadron 6, VMO-6, Marine Aircraft Group 36, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing, in action against enemy forces near Quang Ngai, Republic of Vietnam. During an escort mission, Major Pless monitored an emergency call that 4 American soldiers stranded on a nearby beach were being evacuated and overwhelmed by a large Viet Cong force. Major Pless flew to the scene and found 30 to 50 enemy soldiers in the open. Some of the enemy were bayoneting and beating the downed Americans. Major Pless displayed exceptional airmanship as he launched a devastating attack against the enemy force, killing or wounding many of the enemy and driving the remainder back into a tree line. His rocket and machine gun attacks were made at such low levels that the aircraft flew through debris created by explosions from its rockets. Seeing one of the wounded soldiers gesture for assistance, he maneuvered his helicopter into a position between the wounded men and the enemy, providing a shield which permitted his crew to retrieve the wounded. During the rescue, the enemy directed intense fire at the helicopter and rushed the aircraft again and again, closing to within a few feet before being beaten back. When the wounded men were aboard, Major Pless maneuvered the helicopter out to the sea. Before it became safely airborne, the overloaded aircraft settled 4 times into the water. Displaying superb airmanship, he finally got the helicopter aloft. Major Pless's extraordinary heroism, coupled with his outstanding flying skill, prevented the annihilation of the tiny force. His courageous actions reflect great credit upon himself and uphold the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. As always, stay safe, stay salty devils, Semper Fi, and carry on.